What if the next time you reached out for help, no one was there? Imagine falling, calling out, and only silence answers. It's a chilling thought, but for millions of older adults, this isn't just a fear. It's their daily reality. Today, more than 1 in 4 seniors live alone, and while independence is a beautiful thing, it can quietly come with risks unseen, unspoken, and sometimes tragically ignored. Behind closed doors, many face not only physical dangers but emotional battles too. Loneliness, insecurity, and the haunting question, what if something happens to me and no one knows? Let's meet Walter, a 75-year-old retired carpenter with silver hair, weathered hands, and a warm smile that hides growing concern. After losing his beloved wife, he continued living in their cozy home, tending to his garden, preparing his meals, and keeping his tools sharp. On the outside, he looked self-reliant, but inside fears crept in. What if he slipped in the shower and couldn't get up? What if someone tried to scam him and he fell for it? What if days passed before anyone realized something was wrong? Walter's story isn't rare. It's happening to seniors across the country every single day. But here's the good news: he took action, and so can you. In this video, we'll walk you through 5 practical and life-saving ways to stay safe while living alone, especially if you're over 60. Before we dive in, take a second to support this channel. A simple like helps more people find this vital information. And if you care about aging well, whether for yourself or someone you love, hit that subscribe button for more empowering advice every week. Now let's get real. Living alone can be liberating. You choose your routine, your meals, your pace. But there's a flip side many don't see until it's too late. For seniors, one unexpected moment can flip independence into crisis. Picture this. One morning, Walter wakes up dizzy. He shrugs it off, probably just dehydration. But hours later, he's slurring his words and barely able to hold the phone. It's a stroke. And because no one was around, those precious minutes slip away. It's not just strokes. 1 in 4 seniors falls each year. And when you're alone, even a small stumble can mean a long, terrifying wait, a broken hip, a bleeding head, a phone just out of reach. Recovery becomes longer, harder, and sometimes impossible. Then there are silent health events, heart attacks, infections, blood sugar crashes. Small signs like confusion or fatigue may go unnoticed. And without another set of eyes to catch them early, they can spiral into full-blown emergencies. And the threats don't stop there. Security risks are just as real. Seniors are frequent targets of scams. Walter once received a convincing call pretending to be from his bank. They asked for account info, warning of suspicious activity. Thankfully, he saw through the lie and hung up. Others aren't so lucky. Scammers steal billions annually from older adults using fake IRS calls, emergency texts from supposed relatives, or phishing emails. Even home safety is a concern. A dark porch, an old lock, or a careless window left ajar all can invite danger. Criminals often see seniors, especially those living alone, as easy targets. But here's a threat that's harder to see, yet just as dangerous: loneliness. After his wife passed, Walter's evenings grew quiet. No shared stories over dinner, no gentle laughter in the kitchen. Days passed without conversation, and slowly he began feeling drained, foggy, even a bit forgetful. That's not just sadness, it's science. Chronic loneliness increases the risk of depression, memory decline, heart disease, and even dementia. Just like the body needs movement, the mind needs connection. So why take action now? Because waiting can be a deadly gamble. Too many older adults only act after a scare, but by then the damage is done. A fall, a scam, a silent health crisis. That's all it takes. The good news: you can prevent it. Walter made smart, simple changes, and so can you. In the next few minutes, we'll share 5 essential ways to stay safe while living alone without sacrificing your independence. Let's begin. Walter's fears weren't unfounded, and neither are yours. Living alone can be empowering, but to stay truly safe, the right systems must be in place. That brings us to the first vital step: Step 1. Set up a daily check-in system. It may sound simple, but this one habit could save your life. One of the biggest dangers seniors face when living alone isn't just falling, it's falling without anyone knowing. A minor injury can turn into a major emergency when hours or even days go by unnoticed. Walter understood this risk all too well. While he cherished his independence, he'd heard one too many heartbreaking stories of older adults found too late after a fall or medical episode. That's when he decided to create a lifeline. Now, each morning before breakfast, he sends a short text to his neighbor Joe. Just a few words of "morning, all good here," but those few words carry weight. If Joe doesn't hear from him by a set time, he knows to stop by and check in. That one message gives Walter a deep sense of security. And Joe? He's happy to know he's helping someone he cares about stay safe. But this kind of check-in system does more than just monitor health. It adds a layer of protection against scams and suspicious behavior. Whenever Walter gets a strange phone call or a knock at the door from someone claiming to be from the gas company, he runs it by Joe first. That's second opinion. It can stop a mistake before it happens. The beauty of a check-in system lies in its simplicity. You don't need fancy tech or complex routines. It could be a text message, a daily phone call, or even a wave from the porch. Just make sure it's consistent. Choose someone you trust, a nearby neighbor, a longtime friend, or a family member who cares. Want to take it up a notch? Technology can help. There are automatic check-in apps that send alerts if you don't respond. Smart home sensors can detect a lack of movement and notify emergency contacts. Some systems even use voice assistants to prompt regular interactions throughout the day. Walter still lives the life he loves, his garden, his workshop, his peace. But now that life comes with a safety net, the best part, he didn't have to give up an ounce of his independence. And this system isn't just for seniors. Anyone with a medical condition or who lives in a rural area can benefit from this daily habit. So ask yourself, do you have someone who would notice if you didn't check in? If not, maybe today's the day to make that call. And if you already do share your routine in the comments, your tip might just inspire someone else. Step 2. Emergency readiness, because time waits for no one. Emergencies don't send invitations. They crash into your life fast, unexpected, and often at the worst time. And when you live alone, the consequences of being unprepared can be devastating. Imagine this: Walter is making his morning coffee when a wave of dizziness hits. His vision blurs, his knees give out. He reaches for his phone, but it's too far. In that moment, every second counts. That's why having an emergency plan in place isn't just wise, it's essential. The first part of that plan: quick access to emergency contacts. Walter keeps a printed list of essential phone numbers right next to his landline, his doctor, his daughter, and Joe. His smartphone is set up with ice tags in case of emergency, so first responders can find them fast. On his fridge in bold print, there's a sheet listing his medications, allergies, and key health details. If paramedics walk in, they immediately know what they're dealing with. No guesswork, no delay. Your phone can do even more. Most smartphones today allow you to add emergency contacts that can be accessed even from a locked screen. Take a few minutes to set it up. It could save your life. Second, wearable emergency alert devices. Phones are great, but what if they're across the room? Walter now wears a discreet medical pendant around his neck. It looks like a regular necklace, but with one press, it connects him to help immediately. He doesn't need to fumble with buttons or find a phone. Some devices even detect a fall and alert responders automatically. Today's models are smaller, smarter, and even stylish. You can find wristbands, clip-ons, or GPS-enabled devices, which are especially useful if you still drive or enjoy daily walks. And if cost is a concern, many senior centers or local health organizations offer affordable or even free medical alert options. Don't forget your escape plan. Emergencies aren't just medical, they can be fires, gas leaks, or even break-ins. Walter has a mental map of every room in his house and knows the safest exit from each one. His kitchen has a secondary door. A flashlight sits on his nightstand. A spare key is in a secure lockbox accessible to emergency responders. Could you get out of your house in under a minute? Do you know who to call first? Where to go? Being prepared doesn't mean living in fear. It means living with confidence. It means aging with dignity and holding on to your freedom while staying smart about the realities that come with living alone. What's your emergency plan? Leave a comment below with your best tip. It might be the one thing that saves someone else's life. With a solid check-in routine and an emergency plan in place, you're already building a safety net. But what about protecting the place where you spend most of your time, your home? That leads us to the next crucial step. Step 3, strengthen home security, because peace of mind begins at your front door. Living alone often means enjoying quiet mornings and total control over your space, but it can also mean becoming an easier target. Sadly, criminals and scammers often see seniors as vulnerable. But here's the truth, you don't have to be an easy mark. Walter, now well into his 70s, has always valued smart preparation. Over the years, he's made sure his home doesn't send the wrong message. His approach make your house look lived in, alert, and off limits. The first thing he did was upgrade his locks, swapping out flimsy knobs for solid deadbolts. If someone tried to force their way in, they'd have a tough time. Then he added motion-activated lights around the driveway and entry points, no dark corners for trespassers to hide in. Just one sudden beam of light can make a would-be intruder think twice. But Walter didn't stop there. He installed a video doorbell with a camera, letting him see who's at the door before opening it, even when he's relaxing on the couch. And even a simple protected by security system sign out front adds another layer of psychological defense, whether or not the system is real. But in today's world, physical safety isn't the only threat. Digital scams are everywhere, and seniors are a top target. Walter once received a very convincing phone call. The voice on the line claimed to be from his bank, warning him of suspicious activity on his account. They urgently asked for his personal details to protect him. It sounded real, but Walter paused. He remembered one golden rule: never give personal or financial information over the phone, especially from an unexpected call. He hung up, called his bank directly, and confirmed there was no issue. Had he acted on impulse, the consequences could have been costly. Scammers thrive on fear and confusion. They pretend to be government officials, utilities, or even family members in fake emergencies. The solution: pause, verify, never act under pressure. That's why Walter also created what he calls a trusted person plan. If he gets a strange call, he checks with his nephew. If a contractor shows up, he confirms their identity with a neighbor. If an email asks for money or personal info, he doesn't click. He asks someone he trusts before taking any action. Having another person to double check with is a powerful shield. No one, not even the savviest among us, is immune to scams when they catch us off guard. So ask yourself, if someone called you right now asking for your social security number, would you feel confident saying no? Have you ever been tricked by a too good to be true offer? If it's happened to you, share your experience in the comments. You might help someone else spot the red flags. Step 4, prevent falls, because one small misstep can change everything. Of all the risks seniors face at home, falls are the most common and the most serious. In fact, they're the #1 reason older adults end up in emergency rooms every year. But here's the good news: most falls are preventable. Walter found this out the hard way. Just last year, he tripped over a loose rug in his living room. One second he was reaching for the remote, and the next he was on the floor, winded and stunned. Thankfully, he wasn't seriously hurt, but it was the wake-up call he needed. From that day forward, he committed to fall-proofing his home and his body. The first step: home modifications. Walter installed sturdy grab bars in his bathroom, by the toilet, and inside the shower. Slippery tiles are among the biggest fall hazards, and these bars help him stay steady and safe. He swapped out dim light bulbs for bright, energy-efficient LEDs, especially in stairwells and hallways, so he could see clearly at night. He cleared out clutter, taped down cords, and rolled up loose rugs, or replaced them with non-slip mats. Think of your home like a walking path. Every obstacle is a potential hazard. A little rearranging can go a long way. But safety isn't just about your surroundings, it's about your strength. Walter added a simple 5-minute exercise routine to his mornings. No gym, no sweatbands, just light stretching and balance training in his living room. He practices chair stands, sitting and standing from a chair without using his hands to strengthen his legs. He does heel-to-toe walks in a straight line to improve balance. He even rolls his ankles in slow circles to stay flexible and stable. He has a simple motto: if you don't use it, you lose it. And he's right. But even with all these precautions, accidents can still happen. That's why Walter has a fall recovery plan. He always keeps his phone within arm's reach, either in his pocket or next to his chair. He wears his medical alert pendant around the clock just in case. If he falls, he stays calm, rolls to his side, and slowly gets into a seated position before attempting to stand. Some devices today even detect falls automatically and call for help, perfect for those high-risk moments when time is everything. Have you checked your home for fall hazards? Do you have your own strength routine? Share your tips in the comments, and your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. With his home fall-proofed and his safety net in place, Walter had handled many of the physical risks of living alone. But there was one danger he hadn't seen coming, one that crept in quietly and stayed longer than he expected: isolation. Step 5, stay socially connected. Because loneliness can be just as dangerous as any fall. Living alone doesn't always mean being lonely, but for many seniors, it eventually does. At first, solitude feels peaceful, even comforting. The silence, the space, the routine. But over time, that silence can stretch into something much heavier. After Walter's wife passed away, he thought he was managing just fine. He told himself, "I enjoy the quiet. I like my independence." He ate alone, spent evenings in front of the TV, and passed the time with home repairs and books. But slowly something changed. His sleep became restless. He had less energy, days blurred together, and time felt empty. He didn't realize it then, but loneliness had started to affect not just his spirit, but his body. According to research, chronic loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not just a poetic comparison, it's science. Seniors who are socially isolated face a significantly higher risk of heart disease, dementia, high blood pressure, and even premature death. And the effects aren't just long-term loneliness can drain your energy, disrupt your sleep, and impact your ability to focus or remember things. But one small encounter changed everything for Walter. One morning while picking up screws at the hardware store, he ran into an old friend from his carpentry days. They chatted, laughed, and the friend invited him to a local woodworking club. Walter hesitated. It had been years since he joined anything, and part of him wondered if he'd feel out of place. But something in that friendly exchange lit a spark. He decided to go, and that single step reopened a door he hadn't realized was closed. At the woodworking club, Walter rediscovered something he didn't even know he was missing: connection. The banter, the shared stories, the laughter over sawdust and sanding blocks. It wasn't about being surrounded by people 24/7. It was about having someone to talk to, someone to listen, someone to care. Over time, that club became a circle of friends. If Walter needs anything, someone to help carry a ladder, share a cup of coffee, or just check in, he knows they're there. And the impact has been transformational. His mind feels sharper. His mornings feel brighter. He doesn't just fill his days anymore, he looks forward to them. You don't need a dozen new friends to feel connected. One or two genuine connections can change everything. Here are a few ways to rebuild your social circle. Join a hobby group. From gardening to painting, local communities often offer senior clubs that align with your interests. Participate in book clubs or walking groups. Shared conversation and light movement are a powerful combo. Attend fitness classes at a senior center. These offer both health benefits and a chance to make friends. Stay in touch with family. Even short, regular phone calls or video chats with loved ones help maintain emotional bonds. Get involved in faith communities or volunteer work. Giving back often brings us closer to others and to ourselves. Try online groups or virtual events. From Zoom meetups to social media communities, technology can bridge long distances. You might be surprised by how just one yes can open a door. Walter's woodworking club may not have solved everything, but it gave him something priceless, a reason to get up and someone to call when things go wrong. So what about you? Do you have a favorite way to stay connected, a group or hobby that brought unexpected joy? Share it in the comments below. Your story could be the spark someone else needs today. Walter didn't make massive changes. He didn't move. He didn't give up his independence. He simply added a few smart habits, a daily check-in system, a solid emergency plan, stronger home security, practical steps to prevent falls, and most importantly, he reconnected with others. Because of these changes, Walter doesn't live in fear of what if anymore. He lives with confidence, purpose, and peace of mind. Now it's your turn. Which one of these steps will you take today? Let us know in the comments, and if this video helped you, share it with someone who needs this message right now.